thank you for your attention to the flooding situation in Zhengzhou. Recently, Zhengzhou is suffered from a heavy storm. The precipitation have reached a record in the history. This will cause huge casualties and the loss of properties. Since the occurrence of the disaster, CPC Central Committee and the State Council attach great importance to the disaster. General Secretary Xi Jinping also made important instructions. He required we shall put people's life and the safety as well as the property as the top priority. We should minimize the casualties and also the loss of the properties and the assets. With the strong leadership of the provincial government and the municipal government, we work together with the flood control and drought relief headquarters. We have made arrangements and organized several meetings and also sent out instructions. So different sectors, they have heard the instructions and take actions immediately. The party members work together with the local people and also launch a war on fighting the flood. Here today, we organize this press conference to brief you on the latest situation on the flood fighting and brief you on how we ensure the daily necessities, supply, and the livelihood of our people. First of all, I would like to introduce the media. We have Xinhua News Agency, CMG, People's Daily, Henan Daily, and other provincial organizations. We also have some municipal media affiliations attending today's press conference. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to attend today's press conference. First, I would like to give the floor to a representative from the Industry Information Office, and he will brief us on the situation on the power lines repair in Zhengzhou City. Now I would like to give you an update on the power line repair in Zhengzhou City. First, the damage of the power facilities. Because of the impact of the heavy rain, we do have a huge damage for some of the main lines and the power lines. Over 200 power lines were damaged and 38 high pressure valves were damaged and 8 power stations were suspended. 441 power lines were damaged, affecting 473 communities. Second, measures to restore the power supply. In the evening of July the 17th, in view with the challenge, the provincial and the municipal government take immediate actions to repair the power lines. At the same time, we also have an expert team from Shandong, Shanxi, and the Hubei province to support Henan province. We will accelerate our efforts in maintaining the power lines. And for some of the power stations, after they're being damaged, we will create conditions to provide power to the nearby areas. Right now, among the 8 power stations under effect, 3 of them will resume operation. And for the rest of the power stations, we'll continue to drain the water inside of the power station. Hopefully, these power stations can resume operation as soon as possible. And also, we organize a team with over 3,000 people to fix the power lines in different districts in Zhengzhou City. We also mobilize all the available resources to repair all the power lines. Hopefully, the power supply can be resumed. Third, according to the arrangement of the municipal government, to all the affected communities and residential areas, we will drain all the waters and we will try our best to repair the power lines. And we will also set up temporary power supply stations to provide electricity to local people. Going next, the provincial government and the municipal government will earnestly implement the guidance from General Secretary Xi Jinping. We will mobilize all the resources and conquer difficulties and repair the power lines 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Hopefully, by the end of today, we will resume the power supply for the high-rising buildings. And hopefully, by tomorrow, we can resume the power supply in the city center. For some of the communities, they are receiving the electricity from the temporary power station. We advocate for these residents to not use air conditioner and other high-power appliances. Thank you. Now, I would like to give the floor to the Urban Management Bureau to brief us on the water supply situation in Zhengzhou City. Affected by the unprecedented heavy rain, Zhengzhou is suffering from the power outage and also the water outage. We are not able to provide the tap water and the clean drinking water to the local residents. And several water supply stations were suspended. And several water supply pipes were exploded because of the flooding. And this will cause the water suspension for certain districts. And we are not able to provide clean tap water to several districts in Zhengzhou City. And for several areas, they are not able to receive any water supply. Here, I feel very regretful for not able to provide water to the local people. The municipal government attached great importance to the water supply issue in Zhengzhou City. In the evening of July the 21st, the municipal government organized an emergency meeting and made arrangements trying to resume the water supply in certain districts. According to the guidance of the meetings, the Urban Management Bureau will work with local water supply stations. There is a mission for us that is that by July the 22nd, we have to resume the water supply and the electricity supply in most of the residential areas in Zhengzhou City. And we also send out special task force to work on site in different communities and to report the situation back to the municipal government. And the Urban Management Bureau work together with the power supply company as well as the industry office. We will try our best to repair all the damaged power lines and the water pipes. We also use the pump to drain the water that has been stranded inside of the water supply station. So right now, all the repairing work is underway. As of now, several water supply stations have resumed normal water supply. And right now we have able to restore some of the power lines. After the electricity resumes, several other water supply stations will resume the supply of the water. Maybe in a few hours, some of the water will be able to be delivered to our local people. Now I would like to give the floor to the Communication Office to brief us on the efforts done by the three operators on the flood fighting and the disaster relief. Friends from the media, good afternoon. First of all, thank you all for your attention to the flooding situation in Zhengzhou. Recently, Zhengzhou suffered from the unprecedented downpour, and this will cause some of the interruption of the transmission of the signal. Since the occurrence of the disaster, the communication office has been earnestly implement the guidance made by General Secretary Xi Jinping. Under the leadership of the municipal government and the Communication Authority of Henan Province, we immediately activate the emergency response. We work with the four operators in Zhengzhou City to ensure the communication inside of the Zhengzhou City. So right now the network is remain stable. We are also repairing some of the damaged network. As of 12 o'clock today, we still have 4,370 base stations suspended. Because of no power, this base station is not able to operate. After the power line being repaired, the signals and the communication will be resumed within 1 day. So now I would like to give you some details about the rescue work. First is about the Zhengzhou Mobile Company. So start from 14th of July, they are doing the 24/7 rescue work. They are doing their best to repair the communication lines and maintain the network. So for some of the base stations, they are not able to operate because of the power outage. So right now for the China Mobile Zhengzhou branch has dispatched a task force to ensure the connection of the network. And also they're dispatching 12 communication truck and 43 water pumping equipment to resume the order in different places. And also we are ensuring the network connection in several key facilities in Zhengzhou City. And for the Unicorn Company, after the occurrence of the disaster, they immediately come up with an emergency plan. As of 10 a.m. this morning, for 6,481 base stations were resumed, and the network connection were partially restored. And the Unicorn Company also dispatched 1,781 workers to help to maintain the network. For all the workers, they have been engaged themselves in the repairing and the maintenance work 24 hours per day. And also we are receiving a lot of support from different provinces. Since the occurrence of the disaster, we have set up a commanding headquarters for 6,850 base stations under impact. We are doing our best to restore the communication network. And as of today, among these 6,000 base stations, after they receiving the power supply, some of the network connections have been resumed. And it is estimated that by midnight of July the 23rd, the broadband service and the mobile communication will be resumed. And for another local operator, they work together with the 3 major operators and come up with an emergency plan they sent out a task force to ensure the communication inside of the city. For the 5,671 base stations under impact, they have sent out 1,703 workers for the maintenance and the repairing. So for the supporting forces, it's not just limited to the Zhengzhou City. We also receive a lot of equipment that has been transported from other provinces. In the future, we will work together with the municipal and the provincial government, and we will cooperate with 4 different operators in Zhengzhou. We will try our best and ensure the communication signal can be resumed in Zhengzhou City. Thank you. Now I would like to give the floor to the Transport Bureau to brief us on the traffic situation in Zhengzhou City. Friends from the media, good afternoon. Now I would like to give you an update. First is about the repairing of the expressway highway. Because of the waterlogging and the landsliding, 275 expressways were affected, and also 122 rural highways were affected. We sent out a group of workers to different expressways and highways to maintain these expressways. We have fixed the waterlogging issues in the expressway and the highway, and also we are focusing on some of the suspended areas for the national expressway. We are fixing 1 slot in the national expressway, and for the expressway 301, we also fixed 1 slot. And the provincial expressway 225 and 351 and 236, 235, we also fixed the slots in this provincial expressway. So for the Gongyi City, for certain places, the expressway were severely damaged because of the flooding and the waterlogging. We have transferred some of the food to the expressway. We also need some of the support from the provincial government. We're also receiving 50 million yuan as an emergency fund from the provincial government. And we will try to restore the expressway as soon as possible so that the traffic can go through this expressway. And second, I would like to talk about the public transportation. We have over 109 bus stations, and also we have 6,300 public buses. Because of the waterlogging, some of the charging stations were suspended. We need to maintain and repair 884 public buses. As of 2 p.m. today, among the 339 bus routes, 226 routes were recovered, and for 56 bus routes were fully recovered. Because of the waterlogging, 171 bus routes were partially restored. Hopefully, by tomorrow, 90% of the traffic capacity will be resumed. And the third, I would like to talk about the railway transportation. And for all the subway, we have been suspended its operation. Right now, our workers are trying to fix the lines and also to drain the water inside of the subway station. Third, I would like to talk about the long-distance bus transportation. Start from July the 21st. In view of the safety of our people, we have suspended certain long-distance bus routes. So right now, we are resuming some of the long-distance bus routes. Except for Yuben and for the other bus routes, we have already resumed the operation. Among the 396 long-distance bus routes, we have already resumed 76 of them. According to the traffic condition, As of noon today, we have already issued 221 bus routes by noon today. Now I would like to give the floor to representative of the Bureau of the Commerce to brief us on the market supply in Zhengzhou City. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today I would like to give you an update on the market guarantee and supply in Zhengzhou City. Since the occurrence of the disaster, the Commerce Department has attached great importance to people's livelihood, especially for the supply of the daily necessities. We have to maintain the price and also to provide sufficient daily necessities to our people. We are focusing on the supply of daily necessities such as the rice, oil, meat, and vegetables. We are checking the stocking situation in different department stores and the supermarkets. According to our information, we believe we have normal supply of those daily necessities and there's no fluctuation of the prices. For example, for the meat, pork, and vegetable and rice, they are all in good condition. We have more than 2,000 tons of pork, and also we have over 50 tons of eggs per day. And also we are able to deliver vegetables to the local people. And also the price is very stable. There's not much fluctuation. And for the Costco company, they're able to transfer these daily necessities from different parts of China and to make sure that in Zhengzhou City we have sufficient supplies. So for the MOFCOM, we will discharge our duties and will fulfill the mission as a responsible bureau. We will monitor the vendors to make sure that they have sufficient stock and to provide sufficient supplies to our local people. And all of these companies actually shoulder the social responsibility and are able to serve the local people. And for some key supermarkets, for example, the Vanguard, Dennis, and other grocery stores, they have resumed operation. And for some department stores, they are recovering right now, but soon they're able to open to the public. And also, we have very good delivery of these products. And for the supermarkets, they're able to provide door-to-door services to deliver the daily necessities. We are already resolving the last mile delivery and also to provide support to the local people who are staying at home. And for those residents who are stranded at their home, we could use the UAV to deliver the goods to those people and to protect their physical safety. Now I would like to give the floor to the Local Health Commission to brief us the situation about the flood fighting. So I would like to give you an update on the situation of the flood fighting as well as the COVID-19 prevention and control. With the flooding, actually, we will lead to some of the infectious disease, for example, the malaria and some of the stomach diseases for our local people. And also there may be some skin infectious disease occurred after the flooding. So since the occurrence of the disaster, right now we are not yet find any epidemic occurring in Zhengzhou City. For the Local Health Commission, we are following the leadership of the provincial government. We have already activated an emergency plan. We are also ensuring the medical support after the disaster. We are monitoring the water quality and also to monitor the epidemic situation. So we are using different media outlets to raise the awareness of health for our local residents. So right now we have a group of 551 medics to do the disinfection and educate the public on prevention of the epidemic. And also we have some doctors going to local residential areas to provide treatment to the patient. And going forward, we will do the following. First, we will roll out the patriotic campaign, we will clean some of the garbages, for example, the excrement and also the water logging, etc. And also we are doing our best to prevent the occurrence of the infectious disease, making sure that we can early identify those diseases and treat these patients as soon as possible. Also, we are working with the local officials to do overall disinfection in different districts. Fourth, we will check the food safety and the drinking water safety. So we will do a lot of random checks of those drinking water and food, ensure that people can have a safe diet. And also we will roll out education to the public so people's health awareness can be improved. For the prevention and control of the COVID-19, we will continue to do a good job to prevent imported infection and domestic re-emergence. We have to consolidate our hard work efforts. So I would like to remind all the residents to pay attention to food safety, especially making sure that you drink clean tap water and do not touch some of the garbages, and mind your hands clean. And we have to improve the awareness of our health and exercise social distancing. If you develop symptoms such as the coughing, fever, so make sure that you wear a surgical mask and go to the nearby hospital for treatment, and do not take public transportation. Thank you. Now is the Q&A session. Please raise your questions. First, identify your media affiliation. Thank you. The gentleman in the second row with CMG. My question is about the power supply. We have done a lot of interviews in different residential areas, and these people are, some of the residents are saying they don't have electricity for more than 2 days. So my question is how these residents get to know the progress of the power line repair. And also for certain areas, there is a suspension of the communication lines, and some people are not able to charge for their electricity, so that they're not able to resume the communication. How can we solve this problem? Since the occurrence of the disaster, the municipal government and Industry Information Office have done a lot of work to restore the electricity supply. So we are sending an expert group to repair the power lines. We also provide a 24-hour service line. So if you have any questions about the power line and the power supply, you could actually dial the hotline to under the current progress. So we are actually right now accelerating our progress in repairing the power line. Hopefully by the end of today, we could resume the power supply in the high-rising buildings. Please be patient and wait for the resumption of the power. For each one of the residential communities, there will be a poster to list all the timeline for our repairing work. Thank you. Next question, please. With China Daily. So for many residents, they do not have water right now. So how could you ensure the water supply in some of the local residents? Thank you for your question. In order to provide water to the local residents, for the tap water company in Zhengzhou has already come up with an emergency plan. we have setting up a 40 temporary water supply sites. So actually, if you want to know where are those temporary water supply sites, you could refer to the information published by the Zhengzhou television channel. And because of the power outage, some of the water supply stations are not able to operate. If you have any questions about the water supply, make sure you dial the 24-hour hotline. The number is 6769-5901. Next question, please. With CGTN. According to the current progress of the communication resumption from the 3 operators, so when the network signal will be recovered? Thank you for your question. As for the communication, the issue is about the signal from the communication. Right now, according to our information, some of the base stations were disrupted because of the power supply. So I think the most important thing right now is to resume the power supply. This is a precondition for us to have our base station operating again. So after the power is resumed, and then the local 4 operators will resume the network signal within 24 hours. Also, for some telecommunication operators, they actually have some emergent communication trucks. For example, in some key facilities, they are still able to connect to the internet. For example, the flood fighting headquarters and hospital, etc. My question is about the traffic control. So 2 days ago, Zhengzhou is suffered from the heavy rain. This is actually a test for our emergency management system. I'd like to understand how our traffic bureau, what measures has been taken by the traffic bureau to ensure the smooth transportation inside of the city. Thank you for your question. First, we have made a contingency plan. So we have to make sure we have sufficient capacity for the transportation. We have 60 vans and a number of drivers to stay on post. And also we have dispatched special task force to ensure the transportation in key areas such as the bus station, train station, and airports. So all people are underprepared to deal with the heavy flow of the passengers. The Traffic Bureau has played a key role in ensuring smooth transportation. We are able to relocate over 20,000 passengers stranded inside of the train station. We will do what we can to ensure a safe travel for all the passengers staying in Zhengzhou. Thank you. With China News Service. So now I understand there are many people who are not able to receive water, and also people are not able to get access to the drinking water. What measures have we taken to ensure our residents to get access to safe tap water or safe drinking water? Right now, we do have a huge supply of the clean drinking water. we will do the 3 following aspects to ensure the supply of the drinking water. So first, we will work with the production companies, these vendors to provide drinking water. We have 4 large drinking water companies to provide the water to our residents. So the daily capacity is about 6,800 tons per day. And the second, we will work with the circulation companies so that they could get access to the stock of those drinking water and to transfer those drinking water to Zhengzhou City. So in grocery stores, for example, Danningsi, so each day they are able to provide 30,000 bottles of drinking water. And third, we will smooth out the logistics channel. So right now we are resuming the transportation in the expressway and the highway, and also the logistics channel remove all the barriers. So right now we are able to have those production companies and those vendors to transport the drinking waters to Zhengzhou City. Thank you. With Zhongguan News, for some residents, they found that some of their food were actually submerged by the flood. They want to eat those food. Can you give us more education about this? Well, you are specifically referring to the rural areas. I believe this is one of the most frequently asked questions from the rural areas. My answer is no. You could not eat the food that has been submerged by the flood, because some of the infectious disease will caused by the bacterial. For some of the bacteria, you were not able to see those bacteria on the food, especially after these food are being soaked or submerged by the flood. So after the heavy rain, so we are seeing there were many garbages inside of the flood, inside of the rainwater, and this will also bring a lot of bacteria.
在混混中死去的家养情绪和被侵爆过的食物，有的虽然表面上看没有什么变化，其实微生物已经在里边繁殖了很多，而且繁殖速度也很快。在无法看出超征腐败之前，微生物已经在旺盛地生长了。这个我们肉眼看不出来，但是我们经过这个显微镜下是可以看到的。因此，一定不能再食用。入口的食物要注意食品卫生，不喝生水，要喝洁净的水，比如桶装水、瓶装水，我们烧开的水。在这里，我提醒大家，在家加工食物要煮熟、煮透、生熟分开，这样从根本上才能拒绝病从口入。谢谢大家。
由于时间关系，现场提问环节就到这里。媒体的朋友们，面临这场历史罕见的大汛大灾，在各级党委的坚强领导下，我们的
With the strong leadership of the provincial government and the municipal government, the CPC members have been fighting at the front line, and the PLA servicemen, police forces, firefighters, they are also fighting at the front line. We also have volunteers and the civil workers to stay at the front line. We believe with the strong leadership of CPC with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, we will put people's life and safety as the top priority. We will be decisive and stay united to win the battle against the flood. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you all the speakers. Thank you for your participation. See you next time.